I have a couple types of lettuce that I'm growing this year. I am growing Buttercrunch and Iceberg lettuce. It doesn't quite look like the iceberg I was thinking of, but that's what I have as a two. This was planted March 13th, and as you see, it's growing quite well. These are grown from seed trays that I actually planted under a cover on March 19th. And they've grown quite a bit. They're probably right on schedule. One of the things I did find planting them here is that I am having a bit of issues with slugs. And so some of my farther ones, you'll see that there's a little bit of slug damage. I was having the same issue with my broccoli and put some eggshells around it, and it seems to have helped quite a bit. So I think I will do the same thing with these. I'm using my own compost this year, and I just planted them directly into the seed trays, and then once they reached where they had about 4 leaves, then I transplanted them immediately. One of the things that I prefer to do with my lettuce is just cut it and use it so that it can continue to grow. So I don't usually remove the whole thing from the ground. I actually just leave it, and we'll continue to cut it until it starts to go to seed, and then I just let it go to seed. This year I grew my lettuce in 3 different ways, meaning the first one I started February 27th inside the house in seed trays, hoping to get a start on the season, and then March 13th I started this one in seed trays under cover, and then lastly I started March 19th, so about 5 days later I just directly sowed them into the ground. And I found it was quite interesting, the results, because of the fact that the ones planted February 27th actually grew much slower than any of them. The best results I had was to start them in the seed trays under cover and then plant them in the ground. The direct sow ones that I planted 5 days are about at the same as the ones that I planted inside February 27th. And they're both not as far along as this bed here. So I think that there's 2 reasons why. One was this was a little more protected and was able to grow a little quicker. And secondly, I think the soil was just a little bit better in this bed than the other bed that I planted. And I now have another set of lettuce that I've just scattered in the bed that I planted May 19th. You can pretty much tuck lettuce just about anywhere. They grow great around tomatoes. In fact, they can make a good cover crop around the tomato plants to help keep the moisture in, and they won't affect the nutrients that are needed for the tomatoes. They pretty much can grow around just about any vegetable, which makes them easy to plant anywhere. It is recommended not to plant close to the brassica family. That would be your cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli. And what I have done is I have actually planted this set of lettuce, which is growing quite well, right beside my broccoli. So I don't know what that means, other than it doesn't seem to deter it too much. And I have found with lettuce that we can plant it anywhere in our garden. So it's a good filler.